Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to change colors slash add a new thread um, in the easiest way I have found to do it. So I am at a point where I have just gone through my previous round. I've just done my little anchoring stitch. I'm going to take that thread off of my needle and I'm going to just wrap a couple of times. I left this one a little longer than I might usually, but that's fine. Now I'm going to take my next strand of a markedly different color so you can really see what I'm doing. I am going to thread my needle and then I'm going to lay my new thread down. So my new thread and my old thread are both laying on the unwrapped rope. And then I'm just going to start wrapping over both. And I'm going to continue to do my anchoring stitches. I always like to do at least at least 3 or 4 wraps because that holds everything in place. And you see I still have my 2 threads, the first one and then my new one. And I'm just wrapping over both of those. And I'm doing however many I want to wrap, about 5. I'm still holding this close, holding everything at a nice little tension. With my hands, I find that I need to force myself to take breaks because I am kind of holding everything at tension. These little clips are really nice. And if you wanted to, when you're doing this, you can hold your clips or use your clip to hold your layers together while you're performing your anchoring stitch. That's helpful. I usually use it if I'm taking a break. I'll just kind of clip everything together so things don't get too loosey-goosey when I'm on my break. Because my first purple strand was so long, I'm just going to trim it so I don't have so much to wrap. We are at a point right now after I have wrapped this much of both where everything is fully anchored and secure. So we're all good on that point. So if I wanted to, I could even trim both of them. And look at that. Look how cute that looks. Okay. So we're just going to keep on building until our base is as large as we want it to be. Now, if you're doing this with one of your little class kits, I gave you each 6 yards, which is what I said I like to start with, of rope. And so that is for a nice small size basket. This is probably the largest basket I would try to make with it. And of course, if you use thinner yarn like a worsted as opposed to a bulky, you're going to get a different size basket with the same amount of rope. All right, so I'm going to do one more just to kind of demonstrate. As I'm wrapping and working, I am kind of constantly doing kind of like micro adjustments, right? I'm trying to make sure my yarn all wraps next to itself. I'm holding everything down as I'm performing my little vertical anchoring stitch. And then when I perform it, I'm often using my non-dominant hand to hold that anchoring stitch in place. And it's a dance, right? With any craft where you are working on a new skill, creating this, and you're also trying to concentrate on tension. You're also trying to think about what kind of design you're creating and what the next color is going to be. So if your first basket ends up being a little loose, a little floppity, if you will, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So the next video, I'm going to talk about how to start building up the sides of your bowl. And look out, it's not super scientific, but there are different kind of shapes of bowls that you can make depending on how you do that. So next video will show you that.